Hey everybody, Gabe here. We are in the midst of some of the most volatile times we've seen in many of our lifetimes. I lived through the 2000 market volatility, the 2008, 2009 Great Recession that went on. I actually was starting my business. August 1st of '08 is when Gabe Nelson Financial Incorporated was born, after having been in the business for a while. But we are in some crazy, crazy times, and looks like we're starting to maybe come out of them. So what I've come up with is 3 steps to help you handle the market volatility for solopreneurs. And the thing that if we're coming out of this and this is coming to the end, which I'm not quite sure that it really truly is, but if in fact that's the case, then we need to have a plan for next time. And what I have found is us as solopreneurs, we're on our own all the time. And so we're in the middle of all this crazy stuff going on in the stock market, and it feels really bad. And when it feels really bad, we got to do something. Our body just starts to kind of freak out a little bit, and we got to go do something. Well, what's the natural thing you want to do when the stock market is going crazy? Is you want to sell on your investments. Well, that's not generally the best answer. That's usually the wrong answer that comes to that. And to help you understand why that happens is we got to understand and almost backtrack a little bit and remember how our brains work. Our brains are meant, in essence, or they were developed many, many, many years ago to basically just protect us. See, our brains, we're on 95% of the time, we're on autopilot. Our brains are just in charge, controlling absolutely everything. 5% of the time, we're controlling our brain. And so the jobs of the brain's job is to keep you from dying. And research shows that this crazy stock market volatility and the act of losing money is much like being fearful for your life. And so the fight or flight comes into play and causes you to want to do something. And the act of doing something causes you to want to sell, to take that pain away. Well, that's not always the best thing to do. So if you have a plan in place that starts with the 3 Ps, and then I add a couple 2 bonus ones at the end, but you have 3 Ps, that is a plan to help you deal with this. And the 3 Ps are purpose, perspective, and then proceed. And the purpose is, think about what this money's purpose is. What is the purpose of this money? And how long till I need to use this money? And what type of risk do I have associated with this money? Am I losing sleep over this money? And based upon those questions of your purpose of your money is going to help you decide what it is that you need to do and if you should do anything. Most of the time, if you're working with an advisor, they've got an understanding of your time horizon, your purpose, your risk, and help you understand or at least take care of it for you to make sure that you're not in a place that would cause you to continuously lose sleep. Losing sleep is one of those things that has to make you think a little bit and go, all right, should I make a change to this? Now, so once you get an understanding of the purpose of that money, you then take a look at the plan. And the plan is okay, what's my financial plan? What is the purpose of this money and how does it fit into my financial plan? Is it that I basically am going to use this money to retire on someday? And then how long till I have until I retire? Am I going to use this money to pay for my kids' college? And how long is that away? Am I going to use this money to buy that condo on the beach in Florida that's going to act like a magnet, which is one of my things. I want to have a magnet to bring my kids and my grandkids there someday. And so think about what your plan is for that money, which falls into purpose. But then how does it fit into your overall plan? Are your bases covered? Is your financial plan sound enough that your bases are taken care of and it's not really that big of a deal? Do you have plenty of cash? Have you set yourself up for that emergency reserve fund to help you plan for the unexpected? Do you have 6 to 12 months of living expenses set aside? And so once you get an understanding of what that plan is, now you can go to the next step. Now, if you don't have a plan, you need to get one. All right? So sit down and think about what your plan is. And if you don't have one, find somebody to help you. Get a plan put in place. The next piece is your perspective. And the perspective is, all right, well, what do these numbers really truly mean? All right? Does this really mean that you're going to be off track? Now, I've been running meetings ever since this financial crisis started. I actually was running meetings from the middle of February all the way to the middle of April. I like to run my meetings in blocks, and I basically was running meetings during the whole time with clients, continuously reassessing their financial plans. And what I found is 99 out of 100, for simple numbers, were totally fine. They were on track for their financial plans. Nothing really needed to change. There really wasn't much that needed to be dealt with, other than, maybe one person who had a major problem that happened to their business and that caused us to have to do a reroute, we'll say. So in essence, then, you've got your 3 Ps. You've got your purpose. What is the purpose of the money? You got your plan. How does it fit into your financial plan? And then gain yourself some perspective. Does this really even matter what's going on? Most of the time it doesn't. And so you need to have an understanding of what that is. Now the next one is going to be proceed. All right. Now proceed is, once you understand what your purpose is, how your plan is in place, your perspective in place, now you're going to basically move forward, which is going to be take action. And the take action might not be anything to do with your investments. The take action might be go through your living expenses and take a look and see, is there some subscriptions that you could get rid of? Go through your monthly deposits, all right? Are you taking in the proper amount of money from your current clientele that you should be, all right? Limit your social media intake. Limit your media intake, your news that kind of keeps making you feel terrible. And then, frankly, go back to work. Go back to doing what you as a solopreneur are good at, whether it is speaking, whether it's writing, whether it's copywriting, whether it's marketing, whatever your superpower is. Go back and keep doing that, because your action in that area not only will get your mind off of this other stuff that doesn't truly matter in the form of your portfolio and your investments. It matters in the form of the world, but in our health. But focus on what you can control so that you can then move forward and keep going up. And plus, it'll help you make more money. Now, there's 2 additional P's I told you about, and that is basically paper losses and what I would call purchases. All right? Paper losses really just basically means you haven't lost anything until you've sold it. Yes, the value went down, all right, but you still own those shares. And if you keep buying in purchases, if you keep buying in, you're buying low. So it's kind of like buying milk on sale. So you want to basically take advantage of the paper losses if you need them for tax purposes, or ignore them and keep investing. Now, the other thing I told a lot of my clients right in the middle of March, when all this crazy stuff was going on, is this could be one of the greater buying opportunities of your lifetime. So if you've got some money set aside, you might want to consider buying some of those investments that are low and doubling down as it's down so that it can come back up. Now, the market has rebounded really nicely since the middle of March, and that has passed a lot of us by. It may go back down, and then you can use this plan to put yourself in place, which is get an understanding of what the purpose of the money is. Understand with your perspective, how does this really matter? All right, purpose and plan kind of fit in together. Proceed, take action, and move forward. Remember, it's just paper losses until you sell them. And if you got extra money sitting around, take the opportunity to make your purchases. Put money into your simple IRA or your SEP IRA or your solo 401k, which is my favorite for solopreneurs. Add more money to your kids' 529 plans. Add additional money to your regular investment account and take advantage of this. I have created a guide that you can go to, and just go ahead and go to GabeNelsonFinancial.com, click on resources. There's all kinds of resources that I've created for you to be able to help get through these times, as well as the additional content that I've been providing. If you like this information, please hit subscribe. You can also check me out. Go to GabeNelsonFinancial.com, and I also have a podcast. That podcast is called Solopreneur Money Podcast. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. See ya.